here with Natalie Ai Kamau'u. Been doing music for quite some time in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful artist out here in Hawaii.
You.
Been performing with the greats for years. Just want to ask you how you doing.
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Welcome to my little house.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you've been performing, music for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
When was the realization that you realized, music was going to be, a future for you? But I know that you've done hula. I know your daughter has done hula as well with you, performing and whatnot. So when was that realization?
I think it took a while. I was raised as a hula dancer, and only out of desperation, my dad handed me a ukulele on a Monday night, and he said that there was a show on Friday, and he proceeded to go over some chords with me and try to teach me parts to back him up. And you would think that if it was going to be my first show, it wouldn't be at the Democratic, party, big fundraiser. But that's where my first show was, and I was absolutely horrible, terrible. I'll be the first to say. He told the sound man, you don't need to turn on her mic, and you don't need to plug in her ukulele. And so I thought, that's awesome, because I didn't want to be there in the first place. I wanted to be dancing in the line. So I thought, if I continue to suck at this, then I can go back to dancing, because I was going to classes anyway. I don't think at that age I could understand really what my parents were planning for me, and I didn't really try for about 3 years, and then I kind of realized, wait a second, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to being the hula dancer in the line. So I started to practice a little more, but I still just thought, I'm gonna be a hula teacher, and then I'm gonna back up my dad as a singer. It was actually after I saw, and I don't always say this, but midweek came to my house, and I saw a cover story on Amy Hanai'i, and I read through her story, and I thought, she's my age. And then I thought, I think I can do this. If I put my heart and soul into it, I think I can do what she does. And I told my husband, I want to make an album. Actually, this is the correct words. I said, I want to be a diva. And he his face was so classic. He didn't know what I was talking about. And I didn't know what I was talking about. And then I told him I wanted to make a solo album. And from that point, it took about 2 years before we were able to even start the project, and another year before we were able to complete it. But I can't say she was my inspiration, but she was my catalyst in deciding that this is what I wanted to do. Up until that point, I was a school teacher. So
if you weren't doing music, you probably would have been a school teacher
yeah.
or a hula teacher.
I love children and working with children and teaching them.
Okay. Now, when speaking about inspirations, who were some of your inspirations in music?
I have to just say it's my dad. He taught me a lot, and even when I didn't think he was teaching me, he was inspiring me and being a great example for me, and he still is till today. We still play music together, so he's still teaching me. And of course, you listen to other amazing musicians on the radio, or before I was on your phonograph, and that's actually coming back, and I think that's super duper cool, because we have a collection of old albums. But of course, listening to Auntie Janelle, my dad would ask me, why can't you just sing like Auntie Janelle? Who can sing like Auntie Janelle? No one can. And my mom would actually say, why can't you sing like Linda Ronstadt? And I'd be in between these two completely different people. But I did listen to them, but it was my dad. My dad who taught me.
Now, what do you enjoy about music?
It's my great escape. It's where I find my happiness, even though I can find happiness with my family, and I do. I learn a lot about my own self when I'm singing. I've learned my strengths and my weaknesses from singing, and I really enjoy the part of making a connection with people and seeing their reaction. And I don't ever think that it's like because of me. Sometimes I just think like I'm just like a vessel and someone else is filling me and someone else gets to partake. So those are parts of music I enjoy.
You've been performing for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Any memorable experiences in your career?
Well, of course, Pro Bowl had to have been the most craziest experience.
Okay.
Just because they're crazy. You know, they called me and they asked me if I had a song for Pro Bowl. Like, who has a song prepared for Pro Bowl? And I'm a Hawaiian singer.
Right.
I don't know anything about football. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But just all of the technical stuff and the rehearsals and the backstage and the walking through the tunnel and standing next to Brian McKnight. All cool experiences and growing experiences too.
4-time Nā Hōkū Hanohano Award winner, female vocalist of the year, you know, and you're nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah. Sometimes I wake up and I think, oh, I'm just Natalie. Actually, I'm just Nat, because everyone called me Nat before I put out this album, and then everyone started calling me Natalie, and it was really, it was freaking me out because no one ever called me Natalie. So I had to like change, like, who is this person, Natalie? But before I became Natalie, I was just a wife and a mom, and that's kind of what I still think of myself. You know, the Grammy nomination is amazing. I'm not downplaying it in any way, but it doesn't physically change you. And the 4 awards are like nods from a boss that are saying you're on the right path and you've done a good job, but it doesn't change you as a person. It does help you, I can say that, in business, because you know you have these titles that are attached to your name, but at any time you can do anything stupid and people will say, well, out with her. So those titles can help you, but they don't define who you are. I don't try to chase awards. I don't want to be a chaser. If the public or the board thinks I'm worthy, then I'm ever so grateful, and I will do everything I can to make them proud. But I won't chase an award, and I'm grateful for all of the awards and the nominees and the nominations and the people that surround me and the people I get to stand with. Those who are nominated, those who are not, to me, we're all winners because we're making music, and music is forever. And music, you know, you can only pick one person at one time, but behind you there are hundreds of amazing artists, not just here but in America. And when I think about like all of the beautiful female singers of Hawaii, many of them never got a chance to win a hōkū because there wasn't hōkūs for them to win. So to act like it defines me is wrong, because then that would mean that I would think that I'm higher than someone else, and really I just stand with everyone else.
But you are at least happy that, you know, you've won.
Oh yeah. Every day I have to pinch myself, and I think, wow, people really thought that I deserved that award. I remember after winning my first, it was a crazy day because the next day my daughter was graduating from elementary school, and so I was thinking about, okay, after this, you know, okay, I gotta get up early because I gotta go to her graduation, and oh, she wants balloons, and oh, she wants this, and how am I gonna get all of that done? And it took about a week, and I was on the freeway and it hit me like I got into a car accident. It hit me, and I turned to my husband and I said, I want a hōkū. And he said, yeah, you did last week. But yeah, I am grateful, but it doesn't necessarily define who I am. it does help to push me, definitely.
Now, speaking of music, now talk about some of your beautiful songs that you've written. Ho'oipo.
I Ka Malanai.
Yes.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's great. That's a beautiful song. How did you create that song? What was the inspirations behind that?
Okay, it's kind of a long story though.
Okay.
Okay, but it's a true story.
Okay.
Okay, so I rarely drive. I can drive.
Okay.
I can drive me crazy.
Okay.
Nope, seriously. But I rarely drive. But one day I told my husband I needed to go to Walmart. So I went to Walmart in Kapolei. And of course I know how to get to Walmart in Kapolei. So I bought what I needed to buy. And when I came out of the driveway, I was like, do I turn right or do I turn left? Left would take me to Ever Beach. I can see Ever Beach is there. The right would take me to the intersection that I came through. So I said, I'm gonna turn left. So I turned left, but they had just started working on the rail. So they shut down that road. And as I got to where it said road closed, I passed the sign and it said Malanai. And I looked at the sign and I thought, I know that means like a gentle breeze. And I turned around and that word kept being replayed in my head, not by myself, but just over and over. And so I thought, I need to write a song. So I did. I wrote Ho'oipo I Ka Malanai. It talks about eel, it talks about the ginger, that's his favorite flower. And I always love to write songs about his favorite flower for him. And then, you're not going to believe this. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I went to Merrie Monarch, and after Miss Aloha Hula night, it was pouring rain, and I left the auditorium, and a nice, cute lady, she met me in the rain, and she said, I'm your cousin. Okay, first of all, in Hawaii, we all cousins, right? So I'm like, okay, and she said, yes. So she started to mention names, like, Meanwhile, we're being poured on. So I thought, okay, let's go underneath the covering. So I pulled her under a tent, and she actually had a book with her. She said, oh, I'm actually your grandma's sister's granddaughter. And she said my grandma's sister's name, and I had never heard of her before or met her. And she said, that's because she moved to Kauai when she was 18 years old, and she never returned to Oahu. So there would be no way that you could meet her. Okay, that's cool. So she opened up her book and she was showing me pictures of my grandma and her grandma, and they look alike, and we're cousins. Beautiful story, right? Then she said, oh yes, and I happened to do some genealogy, and she flipped the page, and at the top of the page was Malanai. And like I had just recorded the song, and I said, who is this? And she said, this is our great-great-grandfather. Okay, so like, I think he was talking to me. I think when he passed that sign, he was like, hey great-granddaughter, it's me. Okay, then my family was working on our genealogy, and we noticed that on our genealogy, it had taken a wrong turn, and it had actually excluded him off of our genealogy. And so I started to do some research and found that someone in this neighborhood had just edited my genealogy to include Ka Malanai back into my genealogy. And I asked her, and she said, oh well, that's my great-great-uncle. How does this even happen? And we were able to fix our genealogy to include him and his whole line. And I thought that I was only Hawaiian, Samoan, and Tongan, but through this, I found out I'm actually Tahitian too. So that is the whole story about Ho'oipo I Ka Malanai. I wrote it for eel, I guess with the help of my great-great-grandpa.
You've written other songs, Paoakalani, and you've also written another song. I know you've loved visiting Waimea.
Yeah, Waimea I Ka La'i.
Yeah. So tell us about Paoakalani and Waimea I Ka La'i.
Paoakalani is not actually my song. I just sing it in Natalie style. Waimea I Ka La'i, it took me 10 years to write that song. The very first song I wrote was Blossom Nani Ho'ie, and it was for my grandma Blossom, who lived at the foot of Ka'ala. But I felt like if I'm gonna write for one grandma, I gotta write for the other grandma. And I began by putting her Hawaiian name down, which was Ka'uhiwai, and I got stuck. I would come back and try, and then she passed away. Actually, both of my grandmas passed away within a month of each other. And I used to be like the best funeral singer ever. And then that happened, and I had to sing at both of their funerals, and I was a mess, and I said, I'll never sing at the funeral again. And maybe that stalled the process to losing her, but 10 years. 10 years with just that one word on the top of the paper. And it was Nathan Abiau's song, Uhiwai, that inspired me to finish my grandma's song. So the words include so many family names in it too. I always think that music keeps us alive as singers. Even when we pass, we can turn on, the music and hear the person's voice again. It keeps the places alive because we're singing about as they were, as I saw it today. And the face of land changes with wind and rain. So that song helps me to keep my ancestors alive, and it's really crazy, but she shows herself to me so often when I sing her song. So we were at Aulani one night, and just we have to sing there for 3.5 hours, and it gets long, and your brain gets tired. Before your voice gets tired, your brain gets tired thinking, what can I sing next? And even you can make a plan, but the audience is different, and the audience, like, you might go on break and come back, and the whole audience is different. So just off the top of my head, I said, okay, let's do Waimea I Ka La'i, and I spoke briefly about my grandma, and her name means heavy mist. That is the name of the mist of Waimea. And it started to rain as I started to sing. As soon as I said her name in the song, it started. And at the last strum, it stopped dry. Wow. But it's happened so many times that she does that to me. So it took 10 years, but I think she's happy. Yeah.
Let's talk about music still.
Okay.
What are you personally working on right now in music? You working on any more albums? I know you're still performing, of course.
Yeah.
But any more albums coming out?
Just got a request from my promoter in Japan to begin working on another album. I finished an album last year, 21 North, 158 West. Right. Really, really quiet about it when I released it because of everything that was going on Mauna Kea. I just felt like I couldn't come out and throw a party. Actually, I planned a CD release party and I canceled it and I went to the Mauna instead. I just thought if I have time to throw a party for myself, then I have time to go out there and thank the kupuna who are standing for us. So it's been a quiet release. Still a good release and still a strong release, but we've been really quiet about it. I have about 5 songs picked for the next album. Every year I do a tour in Japan. Like for the first time, I'm on a search for 2 background vocalists to join me on my tour. 5 of the cities are sold out already. I just have 8, but and tickets are going quickly. Chalet usually joins me as a dancer, my husband as my guitar player, my brother as a bass player, and it's just usually the 4 of us. But we're looking to expand our sound, so we even have like Kapena Dilima joining us on drums and keys, and looking for those 2 background vocalists to come on tour with me. So that's what's going on, like, immediately.
Okay. Your future goals.
Yeah.
What would they be?
it's funny, on New Year's Day, my brother asked me, are you gonna do this, like, for how long? And I said, till I die, till I can't anymore. And he gave me the strangest look, and I said, how can I give up something that I love? You can't retire from something that you love. So looking at longevity and trying to take care of the mind and the body, we don't smoke and we don't drink, we don't party. I'll give up breakfast for more sleep when I'm on tour. I'll cut out of dinner and say I'm going back to the hotel and go to sleep. And you know, the other people that might be joining us on tour are sometimes thinking, well, she's antisocial, and that's not what it is at all. I want to keep my body strong, keep my voice strong, so that it'll last a long time. But I don't have any plans of giving this up at all.
And what do you enjoy about the tour life?
I really enjoy meeting the people and listening to their stories about how the songs they hear and we sing and dance for them, how it touches their lives, how it becomes part of family celebrations, and how they tell me that their babies fall asleep to my music, and how they've danced it at their sister's wedding, or you know, that means I get to be included in all of their happy moments, and to hear that strengthens me and makes me want to do it more. And I sometimes have anxiety being around a lot of people, but when I hear stories like that, it puts my heart at ease, and I'm okay.
What would you like your legacy to be?
I think if I can pick one word that wraps up my legacy, and if you can think of just one word, think of me, I would want you to think of the word love. Yeah. Love for Hawaii, love for the people, love for music, love for each other, love for family, just love.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. One of the best in Hawaii, continuing to do great work in music, you know, touring, spreading her wonderful knowledge and her voice to everywhere. So keep doing what you're doing.
I'll try.
You know?
Thank you for today.
You're welcome. Appreciate it.